During the Salem witch trials that took place in 1692, over 200 people were accused of practicing witchcraft.
Later that June, Bridget Bishop was the first known witch to be hung. Elizabeth Parris and Abigail Williams started to have fits of hysteria, which then led them to be diagnosed with bewitchment. This is what made it so easy for the townspeople to accuse anyone that didn't necessarily practice witchcraft.
Bridget Bishop, Sarah Good, and Sarah Osborne were all accused by the townspeople, along with many other men, women, and children.
The dungeon-like jails that witches would be taken to for their execution was dirty with iron bars covering the foggy windows, and they would be charged a fee for their cells as well as their chains. The Court of Oyer and Terminer was created by Governor William Phillips in May of 1692. John Corman, John Hawthorne, John Richards, Peter Sargent, and Samuel C. Wall all helped with the Salem cases.
In 1692, more than 20 people were put in jail, then killed, because they were falsely accused of witchcraft in the town of Salem, Massachusetts. The 3 girls that were first to get sick believed they were possessed by the devil. The first accused poor beggar, Sarah Good, along with Elizabeth Howe and 3 other women of witchcraft, because they simply didn't like them or because they were looked down upon, which eventually led to their execution in July. Though only very few people were truly found guilty, the rest were accused for little to no reason at all. The sickness that was believed to be the devil was really caused by a hallucinogenic drug that grew inside the rye bread when there are cold to wet climates. This is what made them see and hear things. The people of Salem started to blame and accuse people of witchcraft because the sickness caused a mass hysteria which they didn't know how to handle at the time.
The Puritans had a strong belief in the devil, which included women that showed an ounce of independence. Showing independence was considered outside of the social standards due to the Puritans being founded by men. The first accused, Bridget Bishop, was considered to be a witch or working with Satan because she would dress outside of the Puritan standards and act masculine compared to the Puritan women's standards. In public places, Bridget Bishop would fight with one of her 3 husbands. Witchcraft was made illegal in 1604, and anyone who practiced witchcraft would be put into prison for 1 year, and if found guilty by the court, they would be put to death. Some of the affected girls have been traumatized after losing one or both parents in the King William's War. This tells us that while some of the girls were still traumatized from having their parents killed in the war, people didn't believe them or anything they were saying. The Court of Oyer and Terminer would deal with the witch cases, but due to the lack of laws and overall hysteria of the town, the governor dissolved the Court of Oyer and Terminer in October 1692. In December, the General Court passed a law called an Act Against Congregation, Witchcraft, and Dealing with Evil and Wicked Spirits.
People rarely ever mention the stress women were going through in the 1692 witch trials. Women were expected to keep up with every single social expectation anyone thought of them.
They were tired and exhausted from cleaning and working all day. They wanted their break, they would go to jail. The Puritan law was very strict. Men and women were severely punished for a variety of crimes. Even a child could be put to death for cursing his parents.
This says a lot about the way people have evolved so much over time, but also a lot of the way that people would treat other women and men during that time.
One case states that a woman was intensely stressed out so much because she was about to be seen in court if she was destined for heaven or hell. It turns out she was going to heaven. When she got home, she walked up to her baby and threw her in the well. There are some psychological issues that have to do with that, but also some issues can be caused by stress. Stress has a psychological impact that can manifest into irritation, aggression, feeling of loss of control, insomnia, fatigue, or exhaustion.
People shouldn't assume that others are happy all the time. Some women in that time period were really depressed due to everything going on, yet no one even cared to ask if they wanted a break. Shows how being able to control mass hysteria can prevent dangerous things from happening, but also how women's independence has been looked down upon for so long, and how negative beliefs can affect others, in which this